Hi friends, today I have a really fun tutorial using the Tonic Studios Stamp Club No. 5 borders and backgrounds. If you want to see the full reveal, I'll link that video to the top. For now, we're going to concentrate on making a really vibrant card using some 300 GSM watercolor cardstock, some aqua flows, and the Stamp Club. So what we're going to do first is I'm using an A4 sheet of card, and that's because I want to be able to move the card from left to right. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that repeating pattern stamp. It's about 1/4 of an inch long, and I'm going to put it as far right as possible. And I'm just going to go ahead and use some ink that you can use with water. So you can use the Nuvo hybrid ink, or you can use reverse fine ink. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that out a bunch of times. Because it's a repeating pattern, if you go exactly 1/4 of an inch, the patterns are going to meet up and it's going to be very precise. I didn't want that. I wanted the card to be a little bit more quirky, and so I kind of eyeballed around 1/4 of an inch. Some of it's like really right on the line, and other pieces, there's like a small white border, and I think that makes it a really fun card, and it's neat. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that out 11 times in total. I want to make a quick note here, and just to say, with this repeating pattern stamp, the bottom of the stamp is closed, but the top of it is open. And what that means is that not only can you have a repeating pattern horizontally, but you can have it vertically as well. It's just that we're going to go horizontally here, and we're going to take a fine liner and a little bit when we're finished watercoloring and just close those lines. So now that we have our pattern just the width that we want it, I'm going to go ahead and grab just a rainbow of Aquaflow pens from Apple Red through to Lemon Zest. We have Empress Teal, Clear Water, Indigo, all of these colors. I will link the colors down in the description below for you. And these are the pens that we're going to be using to make a nice little rainbow in this pattern. It's going to be really easy and fun. The only thing I'll do is I'm just going to be careful when I have those gaps. I'm not going to color over them, so I'm just going to take a little bit of care when we're coloring it. Now I've trimmed this card down because I want to save the rest of that watercolor card. And with the aqua flows, I generally go in onto a non-stick surface with a paintbrush. Otherwise, sometimes they might leak out a little bit or they'll ruin your project. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it onto a block and taking a small round watercolor brush and going in with the aqua flows and maybe a little bit of water as well, just to blend the colors together. There's not a lot of skill involved in this. I'm just really going ahead with those colors and just blending them out. So now that we have all of our color laid down, we're just going to pop that aside to let it dry, and we're going to grab a couple of the stamps, the Your Face and the Eye, and we're just going to go ahead and stamp that onto the same watercolor card that you have, just with I'm using some black ink, and then we're going to go ahead and use that Love panel Now I'm going to actually use the panel, not the letters themselves. I'm just going to pop in that little bit of the O back into it. I'm going to cut out the eye and your face, stick them all on some black card, and then cut them out just so they have a small border. This is going to be the words on top of that lovely panel that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this panel down now. Again, we're kind of eyeballing things, so I've done approximately about 1/4 of an inch around the sides. I've just grabbed my fine liner pen and I'm going to go ahead and close the bottom of that stamp off. That's just to finish the panel. We're going to go ahead and pop that on some foam pads and onto a black matte layer first, and then onto some foam pads. And then we're going to pop the I love your face on some foam pads as well, and stick everything onto a card blank. Another thing I like to do when I'm using watercolor card with wet glue is that I will go ahead and use a bone folder, and just to make sure that it sticks down, because sometimes it can pucker. So if I use my bone folder, I find that it has a really flat finish. Once I've adhered that panel, I'm going to go ahead and use some white and black ink. I'm just going to dry that off with my heat gun really quickly, and I'm going to add my sentiments to this card front. I do fiddle about with sentiments sometimes to make sure that they're in the right place, and I do end up moving them around. On this one, I ended up moving them around a little bit because I felt that they were just slightly out of position. I still wasn't happy with the overall finish with this, so I'm going to go ahead and grab some sequins as well just to finish them off. So we went with, I think this is called Sub-Zero sequins first, and then we took some diamonds. So they're like a clear diamond sequins. We popped a couple of them on the top as well, just to give the card a little bit more interest, some sparkle, and just to finish it off nicely. So that takes us to the end of our tutorial today. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a great time making this card. I'm actually going to pop into this video just at the end a couple of tags and a little note that I made in the exact same way with some of the dies and stamps from the set, and also the same background, so that same rainbow background. I thought it was really fun to do, simple and easy and really effective. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will be back shortly with some more video tutorials. Thank you ever so much, and have a great day.